Hello. It is month 3. I was counting in days, and then I was counting in days from diagnosis, and then once I had surgery, I was counting in weeks of how far it was post-op for my double mastectomy, which, by the way, unlike if I go on social media, they abbreviate double mastectomies as DMX, and all I think is like BMX bicycles. I don't like DMX. Like, I don't want to use my boobs as an acronym. Anyway, so yeah, I was doing weeks, and I'm in a weird place because yesterday was 3 months since surgery, which is like a pretty big milestone. It's a quarter of a year. I would have vlogged yesterday, but I did have makeup on. I think most of it's gone at this point, but I was in my PJs almost all day yesterday, and I was crying pretty much all day yesterday, on and off, sometimes for reasons that I knew and sometimes for reasons that I don't know, which I could only blame on hormones and menopause and tamoxifen and Lupron and all the other fun girl things that I'm going through right now. But what I wanted to vlog, or why I wanted to vlog, is to loop back to 3 months ago. I got my selfie stick out, and I was going to go into the living room, and I'm like, no, I should stay here, because this is where it all began, when I did my very first vlog, and all the things that I didn't know. Yesterday, I spent a while, like, just watching parts of, like, 6 or 7 of my vlogs, like, older ones. I watched the vlog the day before surgery, because, honestly, like, I forgot what my old boobs looked like. My foobs, for those that don't know, foobs are fake boobs. I still have not named them. They don't qualify for a name just yet because they hurt. I think I'm going to have to sleep with a bra on tonight because I'm uncomfortable, and my boobs have been uncomfortable for a few days. I hear there's a storm coming. I don't know if that's why. But it was interesting looking back at old vlogs and just seeing all the things that, like, I just didn't know. Information I shared to educate all of you, and it turned out that some of those things I said weren't actually true, which I guess would be the case. Well, I know now that I'm following more people on social media that have gone through this, they do the same things. Like, you know, you're being told bits and pieces of stuff, and then you find out that, like, oh no, wait a minute, that's not actually the case for you, and blah, blah. Obviously, the more you go through this, the more you learn things you didn't know that you needed to learn. So, yeah, so, like, I look back at, like, 3 months ago, Jen, deer in headlights. I don't know, I actually feel like I'm more a deer in headlights now than I was then. I was so, like in a zone of getting, like, stuff done, just, you know, get stuff ready for surgery. And, you know, I was talking about, like, losing my hair and all this stuff, and I'm like, I didn't even need chemo, so, like, why was I even thinking about that? Of course, that's, you know, directly where your head goes when you think of cancer, you think of chemo. And yeah, who would have thought I'd be on medicine to make me stop ovulating? Like, what? It's weird because, like, I forgot what my boobs looked like before. As my swelling's going down, and my body is looking more like what it's gonna look like long term. Like, I think back, and I'm like, well, I have these, like, you know, the shape on my right side. I'm like, was it like that before? Is that new? Is that since surgery? I don't really know. Like, you know, you don't have time to hyperanalyze every little aspect of your body. And then when those parts are gone, you forgot what they were like before. I don't even remember. Like, when I started vlogging all this stuff, it was after I had the biopsies. Why would I take pictures of my boobs just well, people do that, but why would I take pictures of my boobs just randomly, just for the heck of it? Like, obviously, once I found out about the cancer, I started taking pictures. But at that point, I already had my biopsies. So, like, my boobs were all, like, black and blue and marked and stuff. And not their best selves. And, like, before that, they weren't their best selves anyway, because I had cancer for potentially up to a year and a half, and I didn't even know that I did. Um, yeah, and like I went through pictures on my phone too, and I saw a picture of when I went kayaking around 4th of July, again, not knowing anything was wrong. Um, and I went kayaking or no, I didn't go kayak. I was supposed to go kayaking with my kids, but then something happened. There was, the weather wasn't cooperative. They had like a warning or something. But anyway, I took a picture of me and my boys, and I just look so like swollen and weird. And I look now back at that Jen, and I'm like, she had cancer and she didn't even know, and then I look, you get those Facebook flashbacks, and I'm like, I had cancer back then and I didn't even know. It's just weird. It's just weird. Uh, it's a weird thing to be, I don't know, like you hit these milestones and then, I don't know, things just get weird. So I don't know how, like, I'm going to be, I feel like my timing of how I'm keeping track of these logs is really confusing, but I don't have the energy to go back and to fix them. But I guess the biggest thing of what I wanted to do to come on today was that, like, of the things that I didn't realize that I would be facing 3 months out from being diagnosed with breast cancer. Because it's interesting that, like, you're living with cancer and you don't know that you are. I just knew my body was off for several reasons. And once you find out, obviously they want to take care of stuff quickly. So, then you're in the mode of preparing for surgery and what that's going to bring. When they tell you, and people even say this to me now, but when they tell you, like, yeah, you'll have the boobs of a 20-year-old, it sounds all great and lovely. But the reality is the implants are freaking heavy as shit. And they're smaller than my actual boobs. And I'm like, they should be lighter. It should be lighter, but they're not. And I get that, like, the surgery is so much more invasive and traumatic than I thought it was going to be. I had never had surgery before. I didn't, like, not big surgery. I had, like, oral surgery, whatever. But I didn't really get how traumatic it would be for my entire body. I've been having a lot of shoulder issues. I had some shoulder issues before surgery that has absolutely nothing to do with the breast cancer. The physical therapist thinks I had some rotator cuff issues going on, but it was never anything that, like, stopped me from doing stuff. It was just, if I played tennis too much, I'd have to just, rub some balm on there or something to help. But now, as I'm regaining more motion back and, I have to do my exercises still, crap. Regaining more motion back in my arm, I'm noticing more shoulder issues. And obviously, like, it's all related, and all my drama was, like, up here. And it's all connected. I mean, yes. I'm sorry. I'm not used to using a selfie stick. Like, I don't remember what to do. You have your pectoral muscle. The biggest part, I guess, that really gets stretched is, like, mostly right in here. And, that's where most of my stiffness is, and the things that are keeping me from doing, like, everyday Jen things. And now with the shoulder part, I'm able to move my right arm way more than I was. I can actually take a shirt off over my head, but I can only do it if I'm leaning forward. I can't, like, stand up and take a shirt off over my head. I have to like bend over like a 90-degree angle, and then I can shimmy off a shirt, which is a big deal. It's taken me 3 months. But I mean, that's a perfect example. Like when I'm thinking of needing a mastectomy or double mastectomy, I wouldn't think that, oh, you won't be able to like you won't be able to put a shirt over your head for 3 months, or who knows how long it will take. I didn't know that was a thing. You know, when you find out, you're not like researching all the things that will happen after surgery, because you're just not. Your focus is like get the cancer out and then move on. And like as I'm going back to work and I'm getting that I can't use a mouse with my right arm, at least not for what I do for a job. Like I was in an Excel sheet and I'm dragging stuff and copy pasting whatever, and I can't do all that for extended periods of time with my right arm. So I'm learning how to, I've been using a trackpad with my left hand. And obviously I'm slower, which is frustrating. And then when I'm like, I'll just do it anyway with my right hand. And then I do that. And then I'm doing it for 3 hours straight, not realizing how much time has just whizzed by. And then my arm is just out of commission. And then it's like I have to consciously think of, okay, now what am I going to have for dinner tonight? Because my arm's out of commission. I can't have something that requires a lot of cutting because I can't cut with my arm now. And like, I didn't think that would even be an issue. I didn't think sleep would be such an issue as it has been, aside from the meds and stuff. If you've had children before, and the feeling of engorgement, like when your baby finally sleeps through the night and your breasts are full of milk and they feel like they weigh 8 billion pounds and you just want to like pump and get it out or feed the baby and get it out. That's what it feels like every day when I wake up with my implants. And it's not like they're ginormously huge. They're not. They're smaller than my other bra size was. Not by much. They took out, like, I have to look back at the paperwork, but I think it was like 620-ish cc's of breast tissue on each side, and the implant I think is 550 cc's. So they're somewhat smaller. They don't really look smaller to me. Yes, I'm not even gonna say perkier. They're more lifted than my old boobs, which yay. But it's like even right now I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here and I feel them. They're heavy, and I know it will take time. But then I'm looking at these. I started following people on Instagram. Instagram is less strict about what they pull off in the way of pictures. I will never show my scars. I just won't. I'm much more protective over my body than I thought I was going to be. But there's a woman named Jen Rosenbaum, and the way her scars are similar to how mine are. She's had, I think, 4 reconstructions. And every time you have a reconstruction, it's like she's got to do the drains and the limitations to your arm, like, all over again. And I had no idea. Like, I knew I was going to have drains. I didn't get that, like, your pec muscles would be as impacted as they are. And just all the crazy things that I can't do. Even, like, a purse. It's such a novelty to have a purse. I still, 3 months later, I can't lift more than a half gallon of milk. Today, I went grocery shopping, if you want to call it grocery shopping. I bought some groceries, and I put them in my own bags, and I had to spread things out to like 4 bags. And I didn't even have a lot of items because I can't have them be heavy. And I took them upstairs to my apartment, up my 36 stairs, and I had to stop because I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking heavy. And I wasn't going to be out of commission for the night just because I'm taking these bags upstairs. So, like, yeah, 3 months ago, I didn't think, oh, you won't be able to get your own freaking groceries up to your apartment. Or you might have to, like, finagle timing with someone, you know, with one of your friends or something to have them help you bring the groceries upstairs. like your ego just like goes out the freaking door. Ugh. It's just so, ugh, just things that you just don't get. Like, even putting socks on. Like, I don't put socks on normally. I put socks on, like, with my foot on the side, if I can, because, like, bending over for me, because my boobs feel so heavy, bending over forward is not comfortable. Like, to go on all fours for something, like, I dropped a dryer ball underneath my couch, and I'm like, well, there goes that, because I can't lay on my stomach right now. Yeah, I can barely lay on my side right now when I sleep. But just like all these little things that you just don't think about. And what I think about is related to having a mastectomy. And tomorrow I need to drive into Boston to go to MGH for an ultrasound related to my FMD, not to the breast cancer stuff. It's just routine. I have it done every year. But I haven't been to Mass General, I don't think, since before surgery. Before surgery, I was at Mass General a lot. My plastic surgeon was there. I had to have that echocardiogram and all this other testing that I had to have done before surgery. I felt like I was at MGH all the time, but yet somebody else drove. And I remember having to push off this ultrasound because it was supposed to have been in September, I think. And I'm like, how do I do an ultrasound when I'm not even laying on my back? The ultrasound is of my abdominal area. But I'm like, I can't even lay on my back. How are they supposed to do an ultrasound? And they pushed it out. Because she's like, yeah, just wait till you're, feeling better. But like tomorrow, I'm like, I don't want anyone to freaking touch me. I mean, they're not touching my boobs. It's my abdominal region. And like all the stomach distension, all that wacky stuff is all gone, which is great. But then the Lupron's going on, which this will be interesting too. I don't know. They're not looking at my ovaries, but they're looking at my kidneys. But it's like the poking and the prodding and stuff. And I know it's just that they're checking in, but like, I don't want anyone to touch me. I'm just getting used to starting to like, be comfortable with my own self. And I'm not super comfortable with them. It's just, I don't hate my foobs anymore. I haven't really accepted them, but I don't hate them anymore. And yeah, it's just weird being 3 months out. Like all that's happened. Like I didn't know I would be out of work for 3 months. Like that's crazy. I don't even normally take a lot of vacation time because like there's so much to do and to just like stop working for 3 months. It's like, holy cow. I have a lot of emails to catch up on. Yeah, it's really weird. And like with people, it's, like I went walking today with a friend of mine. And, it's great to do the walking, but like I showered this morning and like, it's still like, I don't cry in the shower anymore, but like, it's still weird because like I shave my armpits and I can't lift my right arm enough to be able to shave super well, but I still do it, but it's still hard. And like, I didn't know that shaving my armpit would be like an issue. I didn't know that like the area around that would be so numb. It's just weird, this stuff that you don't think about that will still be impacting you. And the things that I was concerned about when I looked at my vlogs going backwards, that I'm like, certain things I was concerned about, and I'm like, they just don't matter. Like it didn't really make any difference whatsoever. And there's also life lessons that I've learned, which comes with any like major anything. But today was a perfect example because I'm like, I wanted to go. There's a botanical garden that's nearby, and it's November, so there's obviously not really flowers there, but it's November, so they have like garden gnomes all over that are like hidden, in the botanical gardens. So we went around there today and we're just like strolling around talking and stuff. And it was nice, like just quiet, pretty scenery, whatever. The heck was my point? I keep losing my train of thought. I hate that. People. Yeah, so like I know that I wanted to do I wanted to do that because like I'm German, like we like garden gnomes. And I wanted to go and I'm like, well, who do I want to ask to come with me? And then I internally ask this question all the time, like, who are my fun friends? Who are my fun friends? Now it's like, who are my fun friends that I actually want to spend time with? Because I have fun friends and like some of them just like have disappeared and that's not so fun. So it's like, who do I want to spend my time with? One of the life lessons I guess I've learned from all this is that my time is very precious, and it's only I didn't respect myself before, but I've become much more protective of myself. And when it comes to people, it's like, who do I want to be around me? Like yesterday, it was not a good day. I didn't want to be around anybody yesterday. I drove my son someplace and like I like him. So I want to be around him. But when it comes to like other people aside from my kids, I'm much pickier now. Like I'm not chasing anyone. Family, friends, whoever, I'm not chasing anyone anymore. Like if I have to chase someone to get your attention, no. Like we should mutually want to have each other's attention. So I don't do that anymore. I did that for so long, and I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. Like I'm worth more than that, Like if you don't want to spend time with me, then like screw you, I'm a fun person to be around. Even with all this stuff going on, like I can walk around and find 250 gnomes hidden in a botanical garden. Like it's fun. But you know what? Even if the friend that I went with didn't want to go, I would still end up going anyway because I know I'd still have fun because I'm just fun. I don't want to just like ask anyone to do something socially with me just to have someone to do things with. Because like if it's the wrong person, it's not going to be fun. So yeah, I have a very different relationship like with myself when it comes to like where I'm going to put my energies and who I'm going to put my energy into. And it's not a tit for tat thing. No pun intended. I hate that word. Like with people, I don't feel like I owe anyone anything. If I want to put the effort forth, I will. But I just want to live my life with more ease and peace. And I want that for everyone anyway. But for me, it's like I don't want to... I don't have patience for drama. I don't have patience for like cattiness. I have a lot less patience for lots of things. I realize how precious life is. Things can just change like boop, all of a sudden your world is turned upside down, and 3 months later it's like you have breast implants. Mrs. Authentic Jen has breast implants. Like, what? Where'd that come from? So bizarro. And having to think, like, do I want my nipples? Do I want to not have nipples? I have to say, though, like, if I were, like, in a committed relationship with, and I know it's not about other people, it's about me, blah, blah, whatever. But if I was in a committed relationship with somebody, like, long-term, I probably wouldn't care as much about the nipple thing. Because honestly, like, when I wake up in the morning, even though, like, right now, my foobs hurt. Not pain hurt. It's just, like, discomfort. They're discomfortable. But when I wake up in the morning and, like, I wake up and I have a tank top on and I look down and I'm like, huh, That's not too bad. You know, they're not like sagging off to the side anymore. Now they're like upright, which is kind of cool. Um, but it's still like a project with how to sleep. I don't have 25,000 pillows behind me like I used to. But I do have to strategically place, like, you know, I use a pillow for my neck that's supportive, and then I have to make sure that I have support. Like right now, I'm leaning on Tex. Ugh, my favorite. This is just such the best thing. I'm leaning on Tex, like putting weight into my chest to help support my boobs, even though I have a very supportive bra on right now. Um, but it just feels weird. I don't know. It's a very weird place right now, this 3 month period. Like I don't go back to plastics for another 3 months. Well, no, actually more than that. April. So that's 3, 4, almost 5 months. The last time I went, he said it was going to be 6 months before I saw him again. Because by then my scars will be a lot lighter, and I think that they like switch the next step, which would be the tattooing or the creation of my nipples, whatever. But like I was saying with the tank top thing, like not having nipples, it's kind of cool that you can just like feel, you know, the way your breast is, and it doesn't matter if it's hot or cold outside because it's not going to make any difference. Like underneath with clothes on, like it looks kind of cool and easy to not have nipples at all. Um, I did buy a bunch of bras and bralettes, not like the traditional ones. I still can't reach my arms, but my left arm, yes, but I can't reach my right arm behind my back to hook like a regular bra. And that's 3 months out. So like, um, again, shoulder issues, some not related to the breast cancer at all, but I can't reach yet behind my back to be able to do that. Reaching behind your back actually is an exercise that they tell you to do after any mastectomy because you have such limited range of motion in your arms after the surgery. So yeah, I ordered these bras and bralettes, and I'm like the one like I'm wearing right now is a camisole, but it has a bra like on the top. None of them have any wires, but it has like regular bra straps. Like it has, you know, this like regular bra strap. If you could see that. But like the way my boobs are right now, I'm like the bra's too lifting because I'm like it wants to make my boob into a certain shape, and my boob is softened. Like they have softened substantially compared to what they used to be like that. After surgery, like they're so firm. It takes a while for them to soften up and become like pliable. Um, but I'm like the bra wants my boobs to look like this, and that's just not what they look like, even with the implants. And I'm like they all seem to have this thing here. They always seem to have this thing here, and I'm like I keep like pushing, and it just pops back out, pushing and pops up and pops back out, and I'm like I don't know if my boob will ever fit in that. And then it didn't dawn on me until like I don't know, just a few days ago that the thing that keeps popping out, like if you had a nipple, it wouldn't do that because your nipple would take up that spot. So the reason why it just pops in is because there's no nipple there, which seems so stupid. But like, I'm like, oh yeah, that's where your nipple would go when I have nipples. um, yeah, I don't know. Just it's such a weird time. It's still a very in between time. Um, like you know, didn't think I'd need to have my body forced into menopause, which also has its pros and cons. I picked up a pack of pads at the grocery store today, and I'm like, do I even need them? I actually only bought a pack of 24 because I'm like, if I am in menopause, like I had my Lupron injection on Wednesday, and I never got my period this month. So I'm like, maybe that's because the Lupron's working. Maybe just because I skipped a cycle. I don't know. I'll find out. And my follow-up about the Lupron is in March, so it'll be a while. Tomorrow, my follow-up with the oncologist is about the tamoxifen. Um, uh, what was I saying? I feel like this happens more and more. Ugh. So frustrating. The Lupron, my period. Oh, not knowing, like, well, yeah, not knowing if, like, that was my last cycle, like, whether or not I would even need to get more pads. So I only bought 24 because I'm like, if I'm not getting my periods anymore, I don't need any more pads. So why would I buy a big pack of them? So I bought a smaller one, and that was it. But, like, I wouldn't have thought when I had breast cancer, like, oh, by the way, you know, you'll have your period 2 more times, then you'll never have it again. That could or could not be true. I don't know. I mean, the point of the Lupron is to make the period stop happening. But, like, wasn't on my radar that that was actually a thing that was going to happen. A very weird thing I noticed, by the way, my hair, because I was watching those vlogs, I was talking about my hair falling out so much before, and I do know that I was using a shampoo and conditioner that was recalled. So that's part of why my hair was falling out, and it was probably because of stress. But normally my hair falls out anyway. My hair is super thick. Normally my hair falls out anyway, or not falls out, but, like, you know, I have a clump of hair in the shower or whatever. But I have noticed over the past, like, I don't know, 2 weeks or so, I'm not really losing a lot of hair at all in the shower, which is weird for me because that's unusual for me. And then I wonder, like, with the Lupron, you know, the whole point is to not have estrogen in your body because estrogen cancer is bad. Estrogen, you know, is just food for cancer cells, so no thank you. But there is a part about testosterone with Lupron because I believe Lupron is mostly prescribed to men that are going through prostate cancer. And I think it increases your testosterone levels. So I'm like, maybe there's something that I'm, like, getting. I'm not hairier anywhere else, but I'm like, maybe I'm getting hairier on my head and I'm not losing hair in the shower because of that. I have no idea. There's so many moving parts, it's hard to know. But I am in a whole, like, pool of question marks right now. I don't know how to be around anything. I don't know how to be around people. I don't know how to be around my body. Getting dressed is a pain in the ass. I don't know what to wear anymore because things are just uncomfortable. The way they fit, my whole body shaped differently, the way materials feel on me. Even my nails, like, it just irritates me when they're too long. It's like, they're too long. Can't wear a regular purse. They're like, yeah, put one, like, like one that goes across, like a crossbody one. But the crossbody ones cross your body, which means they go in between your boobs, and I don't want anything touching my boobs. So, like, what do you wear as a purse as a woman? I'm realizing that you don't really need that many things that would be in a purse that you can't just stick in your pockets or something. It's just very, very weird things. And the last thing that I'll share, because I have to get to bed, this ultrasound thing tomorrow is fasting. So I want to, like, get up and get going so I can get home and eat tomorrow. But I intentionally did not join any like, cancer patient support groups because most of them seem like they're glass half empty and just a bunch of people that tell you all the negative things all the time. And over the past week, I did go on social media and I joined 2 groups. And it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. I was trying to go into it all open-minded, but then, you know, people are talking about their worst case scenarios of things. And I'm like, is there any positivity to anything? Like, is there a support group that actually talks about things that aren't horrible? You know, like, we're all still here in the support group, like, to share our stories, which means that, you know, we've beaten cancer or are fighting it. So can we talk about something positive, you know? Like, I know it sucks, but, like, there's positivity that can come out of things, or at least, like, sharing things that were helpful for you, whatever. And I'm not finding that, and it's frustrating because I don't want to. I actually unfollowed the groups already. It's not even been a week since I joined them. I've already unfollowed them because I don't want to hear all the negative stuff. That's not going to help me with my healing. Like, I want to hear, you know, someone will say something, oh, my boobs feel like I'm engorged and I have to nurse my child. And someone will say, oh no, like that will go away in X months or something, you know, and everyone can be supportive for each other somehow. But that's not what I'm finding. And I wish like the world were more glass half full, that I would, you know, there'd be more groups that were like that to keep people, I don't know, not feeling alone and feeling supported, all that good stuff. So, yeah, I'm tired a lot. It's only 8:30. I did walk though a lot today. And I'm pooped. So, I did get a card today. I will still throw that out. I still love getting cards. And I got a card from someone today that I haven't gotten like something from. I mean, she's reached out a few times, through like messaging and stuff. But she sent me a card today, and it said on the outside, no rain, no rainbow. I'm like, yeah, I've had quite enough rain. I'm good. I guess it just gives me fodder if there's stuff to talk about, whatever. But it was just nice. Like the card was orange, and I'm like, oh, Thanksgiving is coming up this week, so that was such like a fall, you know, color of an envelope to send, which was nice. And it's just like, it still means a lot. I would say, you know, if you're trying to support someone who's going through this, cards are awesome. You know, it's COVID, so not everyone's still, you know, getting up and seeing each other in groups or whatever. And people are still like working remotely and holed up in their homes and whatever. But it's just nice to like, for me, I don't know, it's nice to like open up the mailbox and like see a card from someone in there. I'm like, oh, you know, somebody's thinking of me. And, you know, some people send gift cards or whatever, which is super, super sweet. I will be eating cheesecake from her card. I'm like, cheesecake. But it's just nice to have people think about you, you know, even this far out. Like, obviously, when you're going through stuff, I shouldn't say obviously, because if you rewind the vlogs, not everyone's around that you think is going to be around. But there are people that step up, and there are people that help in lots of different ways. But then over time, it starts to peter out. You know, it's been 3 months. I can't expect the church to bring me meals for the rest of my life. That'd be awesome, but it's just not realistic. And yeah, it's just nice to be thought of still this far out, because like, yes, the surgery is done. Yes, I'm here. Yes, my margins were clear. You know, I'm still going through this tamoxifen garbage and the Lupron stuff, and we'll figure all that stuff out, you know, but I'm cancer-free. And it's like you're cancer-free and you're still going through treatments, which it sounds weird, but that's just part and parcel with breast cancer and making sure that there isn't any cancer anywhere else. Yeah, I don't know, just a lot of weirdness, a weird time, and it's just nice to still be thought of this far out, because it's not over. It's just things change, and I feel like for the rest, like, I'm not going to be all doom and gloom for the rest of my life, but you know, I can't get my old boobs back. I don't want those old boobs because they were trying to kill me, and like, fuck you, I'm not letting you kill me. So I'm still here, they're gone. But I have this new body, and I don't mean to sound dramatic when I say that like my old boobs were amputated, because I've had doctors use that analogy all the time, that, you know, when you have a mastectomy, you know, you are basically having a part of you amputated. And I normally wouldn't think of boobs as, you know, having an amputation, but it's like, they said that to me, you know, you had 2 breasts amputated from your chest, and your prosthetics is your 2 implants. You know, they're artificial pieces that don't belong to you. Some other human skin is inside of both of my chests right now, keeping everything together. And that's medically cool, and still something that my body is, you know, sorting out and getting everything, all the pieces put together. And it takes time. It takes time, and you must have patience. All right, I'm going to head to sleep, and not sure when I'm going to check in again. I don't know. We'll see what the oncologist says tomorrow, but I will see you sometime soon. See you later.